It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. You know, yesterday I did that fireside chat tutorial trying to teach consultants how to get better fireside chats. And in that video, I discussed a little bit about the supply chain issues. Today, I want to get on my Sharp Interactive board because, folks, there's a serious problem regarding supply chain issues, and I want to be serious about it. I'll probably throw some of the Ray-isms in there, but at the end of the day, this is something our channel really needs to be paying attention to. And quite honestly, our analysts don't get it. Our consultants don't get it. And, you know, talking about shit being stored on boats and all that crap is pretty nonsensical. The real issue around supply and demand is simple. We've created a false demand. The industry, called the Document Imaging Channel, the folks that sell and service print equipment, have created a false demand, and the practices around creating that false demand are turning into a real disaster. So without any further ado, I want to get on my Sharp Interactive board and let's talk about supply versus demand. And ladies and gentlemen, before I do that, I did read an article. This has nothing to do with supply versus demand, but we got to get the right people in the right seats on the bus. You know, we've all heard that before. You know, how many of our executives are kind of delusional? Let's get rid of them and get people that actually can understand how to take us to the next level. But Luella Fernandez put together an article, and, you know, Luella is one of those analysts that actually can look today, pay attention to what happened yesterday, and kind of help project what could happen in the future. She does a really good job at that. She doesn't just copy and paste stuff. A lot of the analysts, you know, hey, OEM, give me something to copy and paste on my blog and I'll call it a day. Luella actually does analysis, and I appreciate what she does. But what I want to do is I want to underline a sentence that she said in her latest article, and it's, you know, the title of her article is 2022 Priorities Channel Agility Will Create Competitive Advantage, you know, and she's just talking about some of the things going on in our space today. But she says this in one of her paragraphs. The industry continues to navigate massive uncertainty with just 26% of the industry's executives confident that print volumes will bounce back to pre-COVID levels. I had to read that twice. So what she's saying is 26% of the executives inside our channel believe that print volumes will actually go back to where they were pre-COVID. So here's the opportunity for all the OEMs, for all the private equity groups that may have delusional executives. We need to give these people a test. Walk down the executive hallway and just ask them this question. Do you believe that print will go back to pre-COVID levels? If they say yes, call security, have them removed from the building. You know, make sure you got some boxes hanging around the office. You can pack this stuff up out of their office and get these delusional lunatics out of the business. Folks, this is insane. What person in their right mind would believe that we're going to return to pre-COVID print levels? This is insanity. Extremely delusional. And it's folks that think this way that have been dragging our industry down for a long, long time. And this time we have what I used to call, remember the big retirement party, and get these nut jobs out of the way. Anyway, I want to go ahead and get past that. So ladies and gentlemen, with supply and demand, here's what's going on. We've created a false demand. I want you all to think about something. I want you to think about executives sitting in their boardroom, and the topic is supply chain issues and how it's impacting their company. So just pick a company, folks. I'm going to pick a company that makes toys. Okay? That's my company. And they're sitting there and they're talking. And the person that has to buy all the plastics for all the toys, you know, says, oh yeah, they're raising all of our plastic costs, going through the roof, supply chain issues. And then the next person is the person that's in charge of getting all the toys to all the stores through trucks all over the country, right? Yeah, you know, fuel prices going up through the roof, cost to deliver stuff's going up through the roof. You know, we got supply chain issues, prices going up. And then the purchasing agent raises her hand and says, hey, you know, guys and gals, here's the reality. Our print deliverable, it's going down. As a matter of fact, we just had the sales rep that handles our account come in yesterday. They wrote us a check for $15,000 to pay off the remaining payments of our copier lease. They put us in all brand new equipment, and then the equipment they sold us is actually cheaper to run than the equipment we had. But here's the beauty of it. They didn't even have the equipment to bring us because they have supply chain issues too. So they're just going to lower our leasing cost per month, and we're just going to wait for them to deliver the new equipment. It's fantastic. It's the only vendor we do business with that came in here, did a deal, and lowered our costs from pre-COVID levels. I had to pause because that sounds just totally insane. But that's exactly what our industry's doing. And our industry's creating a false demand. I talked to a dealer the other day who literally told me they have, I don't even want to tell you the number, it's so absurd, but they have tons of leases that have been pre-funded by leasing companies waiting to be delivered. I'm just thinking to myself, are our leasing companies insane? Are we this excited about being the favorite leasing company that we're going to do stupid things? Folks, I hope our leasing companies aren't doing this, because if they are, it's nuts. Now, I could see in the very beginning, trying to help out your dealer partners, but folks, in the very beginning, like a year ago, we thought maybe it would only take 30 or 60 days. We're starting to realize some of this equipment might not show up for 90, 120 days. Pre-funding leases is nuts. Even the purchasing agent in my fictitious company thinks it's nuts, and I assure you there's a purchasing agent in a real company that thinks it's nuts. They're questioning the sanity of our whole entire industry. And ladies and gentlemen, the things we're doing to create this false demand are making us look worse and worse as an industry. Are letting us, I hope we're starting to realize that in the biggest supply shortage in our industry's history, we're not able to raise our prices. That should tell every single person our industry's in trouble, because the customers just don't need our products like they used to. So we're creating this false demand by going in there and doing things that are illogical against business. Totally insane. And I'm hoping we can fix the problem. I'm hoping more analysts will talk about it. You know, in all reality, once I bring up a subject, usually the analysts get on board sooner or later. So maybe we'll hear some more about this. It'd be great to hear about it, because it's crazy what's going on in the Document Imaging channel. The folks that sell print equipment, supply that equipment, service that equipment, is defying logic. And here's why it's a really big problem. You know, when we go in, when we hear a consultant talk to us about moving into IT services, what's one of the things they always say? And of course, I say that you guys are stupid consultants. Don't tell our dealers this. But they go in and they say two things, actually. They say you got the greatest salespeople in the world. Useless. They also say that your salespeople understand financing better than anybody. Okay, I've already discussed the smartest salespeople in the world thing. Plenty of videos on that. I talked about that at the BTA meeting in Asheville. But I want to address the finance thing. We're so convinced that our industry's experts at financing. I got to start to believe our industry's expert in the shell game of financing. Our industry's great at, mystery in the margin and all the things that made our industry great over the last, 5 decades. But things are changing so rapidly. New players are entering the space. I keep telling everybody, watch out for those new competitors, those people that are going to come in and take away your great relationship. Yesterday, I had a conversation with someone over at Tech Data. And the person I was talking to works as a leader inside the Tech Data Capital Financing Division. Did you all know they had one? Let me just go ahead and pull up the article for you. Back in May, our analysts were talking about nonsense. Tech Data went out there and started a capital company to go ahead and provide financing for products to end users, to help their resellers, help their end users acquire products from the Tech Data catalog through a financing program. Literally thousands of IT services companies can go deliver hardware as a service. The army of Tech Data sales teams can help these resellers get there. Those resellers don't need to be experts the way our industry's experts in financing. They'll do just fine as Tech Data ramps this up. And Tech Data is going to ramp this up. And Tech Data is going to come into the marketplace through resellers outside of the Document Imaging channel and circumvent your great relationships. And the fact that they can offer financing is something our industry really needs to pay attention to. They're the largest distie in the damn world. They merged with Cenex. A lot of our OEMs use Tech Data to distribute their products because they're damn good at distributing, right? I was talking to someone at one of the OEMs recently, and the subject came up around delivering IT services and delivering print. And I told this OEM executive this. I said, who would you rather be? Would you rather be the organization that delivers IT services extremely successful through partnerships like Tech Data with their financing, as an example, and then all you really had to do was deliver print, not the big A3, the booklet finish, or all that nonsense that sits in the hallways that a very small percentage of our customers will actually need, but A4 print? It'd be really easy to learn how to deliver A4 print, wouldn't it? It'd be easy to figure out how to put that on some kind of a as-a-service model or a finance model, wouldn't it? Especially if Tech Data was behind you, wouldn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, the tech community can figure out how to deliver print a whole lot easier than you could figure out how to do IT services. And the bottom line is you continue to listen to nut jobs talk to you about IT services. You continue to listen to a bunch of rhetoric, a bunch of nonsense, and you're not delivering it well at all. Some of you might be, but you're not as the most part. And those that are delivering it quite well, I wish you'd show your financials and be upfront with it so you could really help your peers understand this. And quit just saying things like we knock it out of the park. Actually give some details of where the ball's going out of the park. But ladies and gentlemen, this false demand that we've created is crippling. It's making our industry do stupid things. Your OEMs probably raised their prices. Your supply partners have raised their prices to you. But our industry is so desperate to create a false demand that we're actually lowering our prices, even though we're getting raised prices. It's insanity. You know, you think about it. People are trying to buy a car. They're paying more money for that car, right? Because the demand is outweighing the supply. Why is our industry not raising their prices at street level? Why is our industry not going into the customers and saying, look, we have supply chain issues just like every other industry. Our suppliers are raising our prices. We're going to have to raise your price on service. The customers would expect it. They wouldn't think you were gouging them. Or these little nut job dealers out in the world that'll tell people, we never raise our prices. People that raise their prices are terrible, terrible people. We'll do things for next to nothing for 5 years. I saw a deal the other day where someone was trying to lease equipment for 84 months so they could absorb a bigger buyout. 84 months. And they're probably the same nut jobs that'll say things like, and we're never going to raise our prices for those 84 months. There'll be no price increases. You see how stupid all this sounds? Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop being stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop listening to nut jobs telling us things that make no damn sense and start paying attention to what is real threats in our industry. Because if we don't start navigating toward these threats with an open mind, realistic of what's going to happen, we're going to end up driving right off the cliff instead of taking the proper detour. Some things to think about over the weekend, but everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all on Monday.